All right, welcome back to the last part of One Man's Faith. We're looking at the differences between men and women, all right? Because there are differences, big differences. As a matter of fact, let me give you a couple more differences. One of them is this, too. I meant to write this out and bring this, but our brains are built differently. I kind of mentioned that earlier about the man's right side is stronger than the woman's, but the woman's left side is stronger than the man's. But there are other things too. When a baby's in the womb and it gets to be about, I think, 10 weeks, a hormone floods the womb. And if it's a male, the testosterone floods and it actually separates the neurons between the left side and the right side of the brain in a man. Therefore, he thinks differently. Things have to go from one side around into the other side, and vice versa. The normal brain, or I won't say the normal brain, because women, you'll take it the wrong way. Your brain has not had that effect. And so the neurons are there, and so the left and the right side, function together, so to speak. What it does in one fashion is this. When you have a math problem, you can solve the problem, ladies, but you don't know how you got the answer, because both sides are firing. With a man, he's got to think in such a way that he sees the pattern and can give it to you. It's called logic. And so one of the differences is this. Men are emotionally stable. Women, you're emotionally volatile. And you can see that. Your body, women, your body changes monthly. Things go on. Your emotions go haywire. It's the way we're built. It has nothing to do with the man being better than the woman or the woman being better than the man. We are built to come together as one and function that way. Men, we've got to learn that part of what I don't have, my wife does, and I've got to work with that and learn to use it to the advantage of us together. So men are more emotionally stable, women are emotionally volatile. Men are wanderers. They like to go do things. They want to get out. They want to, they want to go from job to job. They don't want to just sit at home all day long. Normally, nowadays we got couch potatoes and things like that. But for the most part, men are wanderers. Women are rooters. Women want to. It's the hen effect. They want to sit on the nest. They want to keep everything together. They want to keep everything cozy and warm. They don't want to be void of love, of communication, and things like that. Women are rooters. Men are wanderers. Men have goals. Men are more goal-oriented, while women are more relational-oriented. Men want to get things done. Women care about relationships. Women, this is one of the reasons why you have trouble in dealing with an issue that involves another person, especially if it's a friend. You don't want to break relationship, and so you're afraid of doing that. And so women, you have a harder time dealing with the negative side of relationship. If somebody does something to you, you don't want to affect your relationship. And that, that's even in the job or in the family. You don't want to break relationship. Men don't care about that as much. They're goal-oriented. They have, one of the other reasons why Phyllis and I have a hard time shopping together, especially, well, let's say to go to Smith's or Albertsons. I'm goal-oriented. I know exactly where everything is in Smith's. And I go in and I get out as fast as I possibly can, even to the point that if I see somebody I know, I'll go around to not have to stop and mess up my goal. And my goal is to get out of there. Oh, my wife? Oh, no. My wife is such that she can go into a store and a stranger will come up and start talking to her. Here I am. I'm trying to get through the store, and she's talking. She will also, she'll compare. I don't compare. I know what I like. I pick up what I want. Oh, no. My wife, she has to, and thank goodness they now have the codes on there that tell you how much they cost per ounce. Oh, I mean, she would stand there and calculate what the price per ounce was for each set of beans or whatever we're getting. It's so frustrating to a goal-oriented person. So we're goal-oriented. Women are relationship-oriented. And that's not just going to a store. That's in everything. Another difference. Men say, I think. Women say, I feel. Now, men, this is important, especially spiritually, because women have spiritual antennae, and that's why they say, I feel. You've probably heard her say, I don't feel right about this. That's because God made her more spiritually alert. You'll find, when you go to church, men, count how many women are there compared to men. You will find in most cases there are more women in church than there are men. You will find that when something happens emotional, it's the woman who is getting emotional about it and starting to cry, while we sit there and we say, I wonder what he's going to do with the offering that he just took. We're thinkers. It's harder to win a man to the Lord than it is to win a woman. You've got to approach a man differently to get him to see what it is that is there or is missing in his life. Remember, he doesn't know he's not alone, even when he's married. And you know, women will try and dock on his island, you know, at different points. You know, at breakfast he's sitting there with the paper open and he's reading the paper, and she's trying to talk and she's trying to get there. Men, our wives are tied to us. Her identity is tied to you. And if you do not share with her, then she loses her identity and she doesn't know who she is. She may show it differently. You may never know and understand that's what's happening. But the marriage will start to fall apart, guys, if you don't learn to communicate with her and give her time. Not just in the romantic part of saying I love you and that part, but just in the mental side of it. We've got to learn to be able to talk with our wives. And wives, you've got to learn how to communicate that edifies and builds up more than tears down, or more that, or tear down that can be a strong word, but the way you say things can start to degrade how he feels about himself if you're not careful. If you're not careful. So men say, I think. Women say, I feel. Men, because of this goal orientation thing, men look at things in the whole. They look at the whole purpose, the whole aspect of the situation and what you're going into. Women, you look at details. You're detail oriented. I can walk into a room, or let's say we're going to buy a house. So I walk into the room, and I look around and say, okay, so it's a good-sized room. It's got a high ceiling. And we go outside, and your wife says, did you notice the curtains? Or did you notice that spot on the floor? You see, we don't look at that. We look at the whole. Our wives look at details. That's a good thing, because they do see the details. But they need to understand that we also see the whole. And that works not just in houses and things, but it works in every aspect of life. And that's why, you see, men, we are missing within us that ability to know details and to have relationship. And we need to learn from our wives how to do that. We need to learn to talk. We need to learn to be able to communicate, to socialize with people. See, men, we can sit down and bond by saying nothing. Women can't bond unless they're talking. That's just the way we are. We are. There were two men sitting at a table. They were eating, and one guy said, will you pass the salt? The other guy said, you could have pointed. You see, that's the way we are. Now, it's not totally good. There are negatives to both sides, and that's why we need to learn to come together to be one. That's what God has called us to be. Two men cannot be one. Two women cannot be one. It's not the way we're made. The woman came out of the man. And so therefore, men, we're missing something. And women, you are too. And so that's why a man and a woman have got to come together and become one. They become one person, and that is shown in Jesus and the church. And that's what marriage shows to the world. And so we've got to understand God made us that way. And He made us that way on purpose. So I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you today. Know who your partner is. Men, love. Women, get out of the way and let God get him. Amen? God bless you. Have a great week. I'll see you next time.